So this morning, some of us sat in this same sanctuary and celebrated the graduation of pre-K 4. 80 kids, 80. It's not bad, no? By the way, you know that this is the largest ECA program in the entire city, correct, Michelle? Yes. And it's a very good one. So, for those of you who weren't here, I would have to stress it. I don't know from whom I stole this phrase, but it's a very good one. It says the following: if you come to a town and you see a Jewish cemetery, it means there was Jewish life. If you come to a town and you see a shul, it means there is Jewish life. But if you go to a town and you see a Jewish school, it means it will be Jewish life. And this is what I say to the parents of the 80 graduates, that this is our answer to anti-Semitism. We don't know the spiel of going and burning people. That's not us. We don't know. We don't want. It's not in the DNA. We don't burn people. We don't burn books. We don't burn. We were burned. So this morning was one answer to that hatred. And this Shabbat is another answer to a different hatred. So, homophobia hasn't graduated. Discrimination hasn't graduated. And exclusion hasn't graduated. We celebrate love and identity tonight not only because it deserves celebration, but because the work is not done. So that this Shabbat, this sacred pause, be a declaration that in this community we are committed to lifting up every voice, honoring every soul, and doing the real work of justice that our traditions demands. But there is a long, 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 long journey till equality is being granted. So let's learn from what can be done from those who are doing the work on a daily basis. Tracey Labgold is Keshet's Florida Education and Training Manager. Tracey has a master's in English education from Teachers College at Columbia University. Tracey started her career as a high school English teacher and then spent the last decade facilitating anti-bias and diversity awareness workshops for the Anti-Defamation League. Tracey joined the team at Keshet in 2021 and is proud to share that she's a member of the Wexner Heritage Program 2023 cohort. She and her wife, Michelle, have 5 extraordinary, beautiful children. And Tracey loves to read and practice yoga when she has spare time. An amazing human being, a leader, a teacher. Tracey Labgold, please welcome her to our bima.
Shabbat Shalom. As was said, my name is Tracey Labgold, and my pronouns are she, her. I am the Florida Education and Training Manager for Keshet. Keshet is the Hebrew word for rainbow, and our organization is a 25-year-old national nonprofit that works for the full equality of LGBTQ+ Jews and their family members in Jewish life. We have 4 program departments. We have a community mobilization department that mobilizes communities in favor and against legislation that impacts the LGBTQ+ community. We have an education and training department, which is where I work. We have a youth programs department that delivers in-person and virtual programming for LGBTQ+ teens and their allies. And we have a Queer Jews of Color program that also offers virtual and in-person programming for queer Jews of color. And we do all of this through a lens of Jewish values. We have 7 Jewish values that we often talk about. I want to highlight 3 of them for you this evening. The first is the idea of B'Tselem Elohim, that we're all created in the image of God. Sometimes when we think about B'Tselem Elohim, we think about the ways that we are all the same. But the way that I like to think about the Jewish value of B'Tselem Elohim is that we were all created by God, but we all turned out differently. No 2 of us are exactly alike, not even identical twins. And it is that that unique piece of us, that divine spark within each of us that makes us different, that I think is where we really see the uniqueness and the value of B'Tselem Elohim. The second value that we talk about is Kol Yisrael, Aravim Zeh B'Zeh. Kol Yisrael, all Israel, all Jewish people, all Jewishly adjacent. Aravim is the Hebrew word for guarantor. We are instructed to care for, to guarantee Zeh B'Zeh, one for the other. We're instructed to guarantee that we will care for each other, that we will take care of one another, that we will look out for each other. And the third value that I want to talk about is kavod, the idea of dignity, that there is dignity inherent in each one of us, and we each deserve to be seen and respected with the full dignity of ourselves. And because it's Shabbat, I just want to talk about Torah for a minute. So this week's Torah portion, Naso, is the second in the book of Numbers. At the opening of the Parsha, we are being counted. God instructs Moses to conclude the census of the Israelites who are assembled in the desert. The counting is an elaborate process that began in the previous Parsha. God spoke to Moses and says, "Record them, from the age of 30 years up to the age of 50, all who are subject to service in the performance of tasks for the tent of meeting." As Joe Hirschman teaches, why does an omniscient God need a census? The answer, of course, is implicit in the question. The census was not conducted for God's benefit, but rather for the benefit of those being counted. The experience of being counted and having one's name carefully recorded was of vital importance to our ancestors, and I would argue to us as well, who were still navigating the rocky road from slavery to freedom. To be counted, then, is part of the process of claiming one's full humanity and freedom. Furthermore, because the census was ordered by God, it is infused with a divine significance that affirms each person's holiness. To be counted is to be blessed. To count others is to bestow a blessing upon them. Yet, we know that counting can also be fraught. In Parsha Naso, God does not specify that only the men are to be counted, although in other places that distinction is made very clear. However, God does repeat that those who are to be recorded are those who are subject to service in the performance of the duties for the tent of meeting. What if one is not considered to be subject of service? Who makes that distinction? Into which normative identity must one fall? What does it mean to be among the group who is not counted? We are lucky today in that so many more of us are among those who are counted, those who are considered to be subject to service. We have female clergy and synagogue presidents, and even I, a professional queer Jew, am invited to give the devar during services. We have made so much progress. There is so much to celebrate. And yet, our transgender, non-binary, and intersex siblings are not being counted. According to the ACLU's legislative tracker, as of June 5th, 588 anti-LGBTQ+ bills have been introduced in state legislatures across the country just since the beginning of 2025. Transgender athletes are being denied access to sports teams, even teams like chess and fencing. Transgender service people are being discharged from the military. Non-binary and intersex people are being told that there are only two sexes, male and female. These people are not being recorded as being told they are not subject to service in the performance of the duties of our communities. The Jewish people, as the Jewish community, we have also experienced restricted access to public and private institutions and facilities. We know what it is like to not be counted. Tonight, I am telling you that each of us can be of service to our community, and each of us deserves to be counted. Each of us is worthy of kavod, of dignity, as I spoke about earlier. Each of us is worthy of being seen and valued as your true and beautiful self. To be counted is to be blessed. To count others is to bestow a blessing upon them. Although some of us were counted in the Torah, we have not been counted elsewhere, and we know how that feels. Let us not perpetuate the act of erasure. We must work to ensure that all members of our community are included. I will not leave you there, and neither does Parsha Naso. In Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 to 26, we find the oldest blessing in our tradition, the priestly benediction. May the Eternal bless you and protect you. May the face of God shine upon you and be gracious to you. May God bestow divine favor upon you and grant you peace. As Amy Kalmanovsky teaches, each of these 3 verses contains 2 blessings, yet each successive verse is longer than the last, suggesting that God's blessing expands. I like to think the priestly blessing is here to teach us about our power to change the world, to ensure that each one of us is seen, counted, and blessed. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom.
Wow. Thank you, Tracey, for such a powerful message. You know, I was listening to you carefully. First, thank you for the Blasberg for sponsoring the Shabbat, always behind the right causes. Thank you both. So I may expand on that tomorrow, but the idea that you brought the priestly benediction, Birkat Kohanim, Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha, it says, Yevarechecha, may God bless you. And the rabbis asked, with what? And they said, with material things. Really? Yes, we never make a vow of poverty in Judaism. To have is good. And then it says, ve'yishmerecha, may God protect you from what? From the material things that you accomplish. So sometimes when you live in the 33180, you forget that there are people suffering that are invisible. And I want to thank you for giving visibility to not only to the 7 Jewish values, the most urgent of the values, to give love. So much hatred in every corner. And I just can, as giving you back, and you're one of our families. In that bima, we had 2 transgender kids having their bat mitzvah. They knock on the doors of so many shuls and they say to them, no. The rabbi knew better. He said, no. He incarnated God. He said, no. It's so easy to say no in name of religion. You know, a kippah costs $10 and a beard grows for free. But Menschlichkeit is something that you need to work for. So thank you for dedicating time to Keshet, taking the time to come to us, and awakening us. And those who want to support the organization just need to find her after services. She will tell you how to do that.